By the state to stop accepting offenders convicted of lesser felony crimes, and our local public safety officials are fearing the worst. Jack Reinhardt has spent several days looking into this criminal justice policy issue, and he joins us live tonight from our Monument Circle studio downtown with more details. Jack.
Well, Erica, here in Marion County and in 91 other counties across the state, those low-level offenders will be dealt with at home, and they're expected to overwhelm the county jails and the community corrections programs. And worse yet, they'll do it without any financial help from the state. Today, the Marion County Jail is just 58 inmates shy of capacity. The DOC decision to refuse low-level offenders in state prisons could immediately flood local jails throughout Indiana.
I'm just going to take this off you. I'm going to put on the smaller house arrest bracelet.
The Marion County Corrections Agency takes the burden off the jail by catching the inmate overflow, putting those awaiting trial and offenders convicted at trial on GPS or electronic monitoring.
You really can't do that because basically you're still in prison because they're tracking everywhere you go.
Marion County Corrections Agency currently tracks 2,719 offenders. The state standard for client-to-staff ratio is 50-1. The agency's current staffing ratio is 110-1. Without additional funding, local corrections officials might find themselves in the position of having to turn offenders away.
It is a possibility that that could happen. We're going to try to work to obtain additional funding should we ever get to that point. We'll continue to try to not close our door to anyone.
The Department of Correction decision to reduce the inmate population in the prisons will ultimately shift that burden and expense down to the local jails. Under the new mandate, as many as 6,000 inmates currently housed in the DOC would now be housed in the county of conviction. And here in Marion County, that impact is expected to be significant in terms of crime and expense.
There are certainly individuals that we know need monitoring that aren't going to get monitored nearly as well because we don't have adequate resources, and the public should be concerned about that. You can't continue to cut public safety money and then expect that there's not going to be a bad result.
Now, the argument is made that it's always better to keep offenders in community corrections programs rather than the county jails, because in community corrections, at least, they are paying for the cost of their own monitoring. But here in Marion County, those clients are $1.2 million behind in their payments in just the first 6 months of this year. Reporting live downtown, Jack Reinhardt, RTV6.